I was at British Summertime. I wanted to see The Killers. I'd waited about 15 years to see them with my sister, so I was very excited. And there was a couple of guys near us just being generally creepy the entire time. It's unfortunately something you get as a woman a lot when you're out, so you often brush it off and try and just enjoy your night, which is what I did. And then a little while later, one of them was on their phone and I just saw a picture, really quite well taken picture, up a woman's skirt, and I just knew it was me straight away. So I grabbed the phone and I ran off with the phone and him in tow, and I gave it to security. The police were called, and then effectively my case was pretty much shut quite quickly, and the photo deleted, and I wanted to take it into my own hands, really.
Why wasn't it followed up? It seems, for anyone listening to that story, that surely that should be cut and dry. Yeah. Someone did something to you that is not okay. So why wasn't it taken in the way that you'd like it to be taken? It's
my understanding that effectively there was a miscommunication between me and the police, but I think the real problem here, from my experience, is that the law isn't clear enough. So there is a confusion about how it should be dealt with, whether it can be dealt with, and that's what I'm trying to change now. It felt a bit like, I mean, the police categorically, I'll say on record, were wonderful, but it felt a bit like they were confused about what they could do, so they kind of thought, OK, we'll delete the picture, make her feel better, and then we'll move on. And that's an issue because it needs to be way clearer in the law what you can do.
So tell us what it is you are calling for.
So right now I'm calling for Section 67 of the Sexual Offences Act 2003 to be amended, so upskirting comes directly underneath it, because right now it's not listed as a sexual offence specifically. You can prosecute, and there's been cases that have been prosecuted, but it's under an old common law. And that law is one that protects what the public see, so they don't want the public to see something disgusting or outraging. It's like if I urinated in public. It's that similar kind of law. It doesn't protect the victim at all, and victims aren't dealt with in the same way they would be if it was on the Sexual Offences Act. So that's what I'm calling for now. I'm trying to get MPs behind me and support to get that changed in autumn, and I think we can do it because Scotland did it in 2010, so it could be done.
You've had some incredible responses online since writing about this, since launching this campaign. I think many young women, and I'm sure some men too, will hear about your experiences and agree it's disgusting what happened to you, but be quite amazed that the first thing you did was start up a campaign trying to call for change. Why was that the move you wanted to take?
That was because I basically felt let down generally, so I didn't feel like I had that much support, and I've been a big social media advocate for a long time. I work in that, in media and digital media, and I was trying to take it in my own hands. I felt pretty helpless and pretty unprotected and pretty unsafe, so I decided to take it into my own hands and put a post up, and that went viral. And I think that shows you just how important this is to so many women across the country, that it went that big that quickly.
I just want to bring you the words of the Met here. A spokesperson's told us that they take allegations of voyeurism seriously and will investigate them thoroughly. They say we use a range of policing tactics and deploy officers on specific operations to target this sort of criminal behaviour based on intelligence. We understand that it can be incredibly invasive and distressing for those that this happens to, and in this specific case we believe the allegation had originally been dealt with in line with the victim's wishes, and we've subsequently recontacted the victim and inquiries are ongoing. What's your thoughts on that?
So I think that they do that. I think that they are very supportive. The two police, the police officer and the police woman that I had with me were incredibly supportive. They even said to me you should be able to go to a festival, 30 degrees, wear a skirt and not have to even worry about this happening. I just think that there was a confusion around the law in their heads, off the top of their heads. I don't know if they were entirely sure what they could do. I don't think that's their fault. I would never criticise police because I think they do great work, but I think that's a grey area in the law that needs to be addressed. And you know, hopefully that's what I'm going to do, and that's what I'm going to do with my team now that I'm working with. Hopefully that will happen.
We're running out of time, but let me just briefly ask. You've received a huge amount of support, but you've also received some criticism online. Does that affect how you feel about speaking about this publicly?
It did at first, yeah. I was pretty nervous about speaking about it because there was a lot of victim blaming and a lot of horrible messages. I struggled with it for the first week, but now it's fueling me to carry on, because if people don't still understand that that's wrong, then I've got a lot of work to do. So that's a fuel now for me, which is great.